Hello, church. Welcome back to Be Bold, Be Humble, Believe. I hope you're having a blessed week. We started talking about the father last week and the dad influencer. We've been on the parent influencer for a while here, so I hope that this helps you out and challenges you. I talked about last week. I said that mothers are the superior nurturer, so fathers usually step aside, and that's wrong. Do not disengage, fathers. You must press on, and mothers allow them to do that. There will be risky play involved. That's okay. Kids need that. So, my number 2 point that I started last week was fathers will often promote risky play. And I started off saying this: helicopter parents are scared of that. If you ever at a park and you're the kids, there's a ton of kids playing, there's all sorts of kids. There's different types of parenting, and it's usually quite obvious. You'll see parents sitting at the benches around the outside talking to each other or other people, not really concerned, and every once in a while checking to make sure their child is there, which is probably about right. And then there's other parents who are with their child out on the playground, and they're holding them, they're underneath them, they're making sure that that other kid didn't take his spot in line and yelling at other kid, or that is the helicopter parent. And let them play, let them figure this out, let them work that out for themselves. And fathers oftentimes will promote this, and our kids need this, and we must promote that at a young age. It's okay to swing upside down on the monkey bars. So how many of us did that growing up? Oh, we all did that kind of stuff. Um, Moms and dads will look at that, maybe be nervous, but how many? We all did that when we were kids. You know what? It was a little risk. It was a little risky, but that kid was getting adventurous. They need that in their mind. So why are parents and some people trying to get people to stop, or their kids, their boys, to stop playing football or get away from football? Probably because it's violent and there's some risk involved. By the way, masculinity was not created and is not created indoors sitting behind a screen. You are not going to create a masculine child and a masculine young man if they are constantly just playing or watching, or they don't know what outside looks like. They don't know how to ride a bike. They've never tried to, or they've never done the things that they don't know how, or what you can't give them. There must be a massive amount of risk when it comes to children, and they must be able to do that. Fathers, this is your job. There's an attack on masculinity, and you need to stand in the way. We must combat this. Mom, do not list off all the problems and the risks every time the kids play rough, or they play some risky games. Don't, especially if dad is involved in helping. Do not sit there and lecture him on what he should do, what he shouldn't do, because at some point he's going to say, "All right, fine, we'll just do this." And at some point, he's just going to step aside, and he's just going to be like, "All right, fine, I won't do it." Fathers, don't do that. Don't withdraw. Don't withdraw from parenting. Don't just do this, because listen, your role as the provider is not the only thing that makes you a man. It's Listen, you'll come home after work unsatisfied, and I assume you go to work and for your family, but there's something still missing, isn't there? You're unsatisfied with your home life. And so you've completely withdrawn from participating with your children's childhood and their nurturing and their growth. And so you've withdrawn. And then mom comes up and says, "Why don't you ever do anything with the kids?" And that is a famous, popular statement because, well, listen, every time I do, we'll get rough or we'll do this or that, and you hate it and you don't like it and you get upset with me and it's a problem. And so, yes, dad does withdraw, and that's wrong. Mom, let them do and play rough, especially the boys. Let them do this. They don't, at some point, they will not need anybody to comfort them. They need they need somebody to tell them to rub some dirt in it. They need a trail boss. They need somebody to say, "Hey, get up and try it again. Hey, that looked really cool. Let's do it again." Even if they're on the ground. Kids are made of rubber, and you can get them to, doing things that are rough and risky, because in the long run that helps them. That's a good thing for them. Think about your childhood and the things that you did and how crazy it was, and not only did you survive, but you brought some good things along with you from that. And so, next point, fathers push their kids to do what might be uncomfortable to make them into better people and better Christians. Basketball practice should not be fun and games, it should be a challenge every time. The reason is to better those players. If a child lives in continuous comfort and is waited on, he'll never reach his full potential. Fathers are needed to be the game master, to be a challenge to the kids, in order for to make them be tough and take risks when appropriate. That's what the father needs to be doing. Mom, nurture, be there for them, comfort them, and mom can play this role too. Don't sell yourself short, mom. Dads can be comforters too, and nurturers, and all this stuff. Both parents can do both of these things, but generally speaking, the father will play rough. The father will do more risky play, generally speaking. But the truth is, we need kids that are okay with being uncomfortable. We need kids that are okay with doing the hard thing. And no matter what, if we can do these things and we can train these kids at a young age to take those kind of steps, do things that are tough, then when your kid goes out and looking for a job, there will be people begging for your child to be a part of what they're doing, a part of their job, and they'll always have work because they're the hardest worker there. They'll always have a job. This goes on into sports. This goes on into academics. How hard are they working? Islam is a bad religion. It is. They treat women poorly. They have there's hypocritical things in their beliefs, and it's obvious in many times. But why is it that when those young people grow up in Islam, they retain so many of them, and they grow up and become Muslim, and they had always been, and they never leave Islam? I'm going to tell you the difference between that and Christianity. Look at your average Bible believing church. It is almost completely run by women. It's hard to find nowadays, it's so hard to find a ministry leader that will take on the role and do their best and it be a man. It's hard. Women are leading all over the place. They're leading their homes. But for some reason, in most Muslim homes, the father is the leader and he is devout. He is 100% sold out for his religion. Goes to all their services and all their attends every single one. That's the difference. In Christianity, we're missing the father. The father's not sold out. The father doesn't go to all the services. The father doesn't serve in any ministries. The father doesn't do this, which, you know what? A mother raising her children, bringing them to church, that's great for the nurseries, but when they become teenagers, they start looking for a way out because dad doesn't do this. That's the problem. Understand, we need fathers to be fully engaged in the lives of their children and their church. I hope that helps you out, and it's a challenge to you, folks. God bless you. Have a great week.